Well, I am going to be teaching you how to make DVD covers. And I think you're going to really enjoy it because it's probably something that you can make with supplies around your house. So I'm going to just show you right now what supplies you will need for this item. Now, what they're going to look like. Let's first show you what they're going to look like, okay? So here we go. This is what it looks like. It looks like a card thing, but in the back, it's got these little rivets and it's got a tie string. And when you open it, like this, let me show you. You open it. These are Mickey Mouse, aren't those cute? See, real cute. And then you open it and then your DVD is inside. So then it just ties closed again, like that. So it's a really great way to make DVDs for your family or your friends for Christmas. Perfect, in time for Christmas. Now this one is my worship by my ministry team. And so that's what's in here. So let's get started on this. So first thing you want to do is pick out your paper. Now it can't be paper. It has to be like a cardstock. And I normally get this kind of paper from the scrapbook section of any store. And they have different scrapbook paper, which are thinner. You want to make sure that they're the cardstock. Not really hard cardstock, but nice cardstock. That's kind of heavy paper. And then you're going to want some Mod Podge. Now I got these at the dollar store. Wow, look at this. I bought like 10 of them, so I make sure I have enough. But they're really cool little, resources to use. And of course, a paintbrush. I have a hole punch. And this is my super duper hole punch. Okay, the reason why it's super duper is because it not only does holes, but it also does my brads or my rivets, right, on the same machine. But you can do your rivets any way you want to. And then of course, some little rivets. Of course, a pencil, some scissors, I need my glasses, and the pattern. So here's the pattern. Here's another really cool handy tool, paper cutter. And the reason why this is really unique is because this flips up and your paper goes inside, but it has two little sliders. This one we're going to use and this one we're going to use. This is the cutter. This is the embosser. So it helps you with your folds. It makes that little crease. Anyways, we're going to use that in a little while. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get your piece of paper and put it on get your pattern, and put it on this paper. Make sure that the front is up like this. If you want to draw on the back so you don't get any pencil marks, you want to make sure that this gets turned as well. But I'm going to do it on the front like this, okay? And then I just line it up at the bottom and I simply draw the pattern out. And this is when I use my pencil. I had to sharpen it, so we got a sharp pencil. Just simply line it around it and do that. And hold it down so it doesn't get moved at all. And then also you'll notice that there's two little holes here. So you want to kind of put a little dot in the middle just for your hole effects. Now there's actual folds on here and we're going to do that in a moment. So now what we do is we simply take this and cut it. And I use my paper cutter to do the straight lines. And then I use the scissors for the rest. So you want to do is where your lines are. First I want to do is cut the top. So I just line this up down the middle. And I have to use my cutter and I just cut it. Look how nice that cuts. And then I do it this way because there's a side to it. It stops right about here. I want to make sure that it lines up with the end there. And I cut it. Okay, so that's what my pattern looks like. If you put it against it, that's how the edges are. They're really perfect. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is cut with your scissors. Do as much straight line as you can. And, since it's a craft item, you'll know that it's not going to be absolutely perfect every single one, but get as close as you can to the pattern line. Okay, so we're going to cut this out. These are really fun to make. I just love making crafts. And then this edge. All right, we have now cut out the pattern. Okay, so with this position of the camera, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. And so, the first thing you do is you make sure you have it cut out perfectly. And then we're going to do the folds, just like we had on here. See, this folds down, this goes this way, and then you've got your little lip on the side here that folds. So that's what we're gonna do. So the first thing you wanna do is, and I go to the back way, doesn't matter which side you use, I kind of eyeball it. But on the edge here, this is where it's gonna flap over. So about the middle of this is where I put my crease line. Look, isn't that cool? Look how cool that is. Nice crease line. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. And I go all the way to this inside corner here, line it up to make sure it's lined up, and then I just crease it down. Then I turn it over, because it's easy to line up against this side here. That's why I do, the long ways. And you make sure you come to the middle here as close as you can and do that. So that these things start to fold. They fold easily, see? And then this is gonna fold in. And then this is gonna fold in. See, and then it's gonna connect. And this is what this is what it looks like before you start gluing it together. All right, and the next thing you want to do before you do anything extra, you can do one of two things. There's a couple of ways you can do this. If you do not have these little eyelets like this, you don't have these and you don't want to go there, you still need a hole punch, because you still need to punch holes. But what I did was I put a little bit of a piece of paper added to it, glued it on top, and used it as my reinforcement. So on the back, I don't have brads because I don't want the back of the brad to scratch my CD. So that's how I did it. And this just kind of, goes through. But it's reinforced so it won't tear easily. You still need to be gentle with it because it is paper, okay? So that's how you do that. And then on the top, that was where I put my brads. Okay. Or eyelets, I think that's what they're called. I already put 2 marks on here from the pattern. So you can use your hole punch too, because it's not really long, so you can actually use your hole punch at this point and just punch that hole and punch that hole. Then now you want to do is put the brads in it. This is kind of fun to do. All right, so I find them in here. Let's match them up for these. And this little guy, and there's actual hand ones you can do, but I have this little machine. So you put this in here, put it in the hole. And of course, when you make the holes, you make sure that your holes aren't bigger than your eyelet, because then it won't work. And then I put it in here, and push it down. There's my eyelet. Look how nice that is. And we'll do the other one. How about that? Isn't that pretty? Eyelets. And I'll do the ones here. I think these holes are just a little bigger than I would have liked. So I should have used the machine, but I didn't. I used my hand punch. And now there's a variety of different sizes of hand punches, so make sure you don't get one that's really, really big. Like I said, you probably have hand punches around the house. There's that one, and let's see, I need another gold one. There, come at you. Isn't that nice and easy? Oh my gosh, it's really easy. Except my holes are too big. My holes are kind of big, but that's okay. Right now, for example, that's how I'm going to do it. So that's how they look. That's how it looks, just like that. Isn't that nice? Okay, so now what you want to do is glue. I find that the Mod Podge works the best. I use it in almost all of my craft projects. So what you're going to do is get a piece of something or rather, and drop a blob on it. Put a blob on it, and then I have my creasing open, And I'm going to glue this and the bottom together so that it goes like a card. So you're only going to glue the bottom and the side. My thing fell out. I'll leave that one there. The ones on top went pretty good, but the ones in here, it looked like they were a little too big. So then you glue, just put a little bead, a little strip, Mod Podge there and on this flap. Be kind of generous with it. It does dry clear. And then just make sure your flaps are open and then hold it down and across. And make sure you hold it for just a few seconds because it does take a minute for it to glue down, and you just kind of keep rubbing it till it's all the way glued down. And if you have opened up a little spot like this, you just stick a little bit more inside and then squish it down. And it'll dry clear. So if you get it over a little bit, that works. And this just takes a few minutes, and you can get glue on your fingers. It washes right off. So then I pick it up and I make sure everything is nice and creased. All right. Since my brads fell out of this one, I'm going to show you how to reinforce it if you don't have any eyelets. You simply just take another piece of cardstock, cut it about 1.5 inches by 1/2 inch wide, you might say, and you just put it right on top. Now I've done different ways where I'll do this, because then it's a contrast from the inside. Sometimes I'll use the inside to the outside. I think I'll do that this time, because even though it's white, I'm going to use it. And then I just glue it down. So I put the glue on the opposite side of the little flap, all really good, because this has got to be the reinforcement. Put them over those 2 holes I just made. Glue it down. And if you want to just do that for the top as well, you can do it on the inside of the top and then punch your holes. You don't have to use eyelets. And you don't have to use anything at all but glue and paper. How about that? You can cut everything out with scissors. You don't need a cutter. You know, everything is handy, but you don't have to use those. Okay, now I want to actually punch my holes. I want to make sure, though, I flip it over and that I mark in the center where I'm going to punch my holes. So now I put this in here. 2 holes. And basically, that's it. That's it. That's how it works. And so now I take a pretty ribbon. I have some like with little rivets on the side, a little kind of pretty decorative ribbon. And I make kind of a loop, you know, however long you want to make your tie string. And then you just simply thread it in. And then back over here. And the one that I'm going to put in here is my worship. I have a worship tape. And you can actually just put it in there like this, or you can put it in a sleeve. So let's do that one. If we put it in a sleeve, then you'll know that it's really protected. Put it in a sleeve, then it fits perfectly inside. This flips over. String this through here. Okay. Come on, get in there. That side and then this side. And then it ties right down. And I mean, these are so fun to make. It just, if you like to do crafts, this is the thing to do. Look how cute that is. And then it's on the back. Okay, so what you can do back here is, since I'm going to be doing worship on this one, I had made some labels on my printer, and I just printed out the labels that I want to put on here. You can actually write on it, you can draw, you can use cutout labels, you can do stickers, you can do anything you want to decorate the other side. But I'm just going to put a label on what it is, because I'm going to be using these as a door prize for my conference that I'm having. Okay, so I'll put that there. So that is it. Well, have a good one, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.